It's time for good energy, and I'm Dr. Julie, and welcome to Bodyful Day 182. We are looking at plantar fasciitis and the senses. Today we're talking about the sense of smell, and you may be wondering, what the heck does the sense of smell have to do with plantar fasciitis? Well, I will help you figure it out. But I'll give you my take on it. Not how to figure it out, but my take on it. All right, let's start with our basics. Go ahead and take a deep breath in and release. Expand through the belly, expand through the chest, expand through the sinuses, and tuck that tailbone. Take your deep breath in. And release. And now think about any stressors in your life, any body parts that are aching. If you have chronic plantar fasciitis, think of breathing into there. Take a deep breath in. And release. All right, for those of you who don't know, plantar fasciitis is, if my hand or my foot, is the long tendon that goes from the bottom of your heel all the way across your arch. And plantar fasciitis, plantar fascia, which is what this long tendon is. Fasciitis is the inflammation of that fascia. It usually triggers heel pain right away when you get out of bed. And then as you move along, it goes away. But it's almost like somebody's taking a needle and just stabbing it into the bottom of your heel for about the first 3 or 4 steps. Now, we're going to explore plantar fasciitis as obviously a stressor. Energy to heal equals good energy and minus stressors, but we're going to look at the other weird things that hang out with those stressors and the other things that give information about what is going on. So in my experience and in my office, and this is based on the physiology of plantar fascia and other things that I know about the body, when you have plantar fasciitis, it is, in my world, a sign of adrenal fatigue. Now, why is that? The adrenals are in back up here. Why would they have anything to do with the feet? Well, as you get more and more stressed, you create more oxidation, and your body needs to use vitamin C amongst other chemicals. It can use vitamin C to control oxidation and reduce it so that it is not firing off and creating all sorts of rampant stress throughout your body. But vitamin C is very critical for creating collagen, and collagen is the major component of fascia, in addition to skin and gut health. But the largest tendon that you have that has the most weight put on it is going to be the plantar fascia. And so if for some reason the plantar fascia is not created in a way that is most structurally sound, because there's not enough vitamin C, because you are currently experiencing adrenal fatigue, then you're going to have plantar fasciitis, which is the soreness in that tendon. Now, there are some physiological, structural things that can happen, but I always consider those secondary to the initial component of adrenal fatigue. So, if you are not into that theory, if you think plantar fasciitis is just running too much, what happens when you run too much? You get stressed. Your body has to borrow vitamin C to take care of that stress. And what doesn't happen? You don't create collagen very well. So I put that out to you. That has been, through my clinical experience, my philosophy on plantar fasciitis. I can adjust you to kingdom come and make that foot feel really good for the first few steps for a day. But if we don't take care of the initial cause, which is adrenal fatigue, it doesn't matter. So this week, we're going to talk about the senses. We're going to talk about the senses in terms of additional stressors, as in terms of additional symptoms or signs. And we're also going to talk about them in terms of additional good energy in. So today, we're talking about the sense of smell. And today, the sense of smell is actually going to be an additional symptom that you have adrenal fatigue. Plantar fasciitis, of course, being one of the first ones. So what do we know about the sense of smell and stress? Well, as you become more stressed and as you start the initial phase of adrenal fatigue, where you've been up multiple nights or you're stressed about multiple things, your sense of smell becomes heightened, which means you are able to detect a lot more from a lot less in terms of air molecules. Now, why would that be? Why would it be important if you are stressed that you detect more? Well, let's go back to the very old reason why we have adrenal glands and why we want actually to be able to have a stress response in the first place. And that is the fight or flight instinct. If we are running away from a tiger, we want to make sure that we have all of our senses on alert. And one of those senses is the sense of smell. So obviously, we're going to talk about the fact that a lot of these other senses are going to be heightened, but your sense of smell initially starts out very heightened because you want to be able to smell the subtle change of the sweat of an animal approaching. Or if we're just talking about human beings, if you are in a stressful situation, stressful relationships, stressful work relationship, smelling the pheromone shift between calm and anger is actually quite important because that's protective for you. So the sense of smell, even though it sounds very bizarre, becomes increased in that initial adrenal fatigue point where you're like, I've got to save my life. I've got to figure out how to do it. And one of the things that comes up is a sense of smell. Now, after a while, when you are totally shot and you are now in a complete state of adrenal fatigue, you actually lose your sense of smell. And so you can be on either spectrum, heightened or deadened, based on how much, get this, energy to heal you have. So your initial heightened scent response is designed to help you figure out your stressors so that you can get yourself to a place of good energy and so that you can have more energy to heal and therefore you can fix your adrenal fatigue. But if you don't catch that heightened sense of smell, eventually you're going to get to the point where your energy to heal is way negative. Your stressors are significantly higher than your good energy and you're not going to smell bupkis. So how can we turn the sense of smell into good energy in? Well, we've talked about this in multiple places all over, how to tune into smells that are nervous system calming. Because if we can calm those stressors in the system, if we can reduce our oxidative stress, if we can reduce our mental stress, if we can reduce our physical stress, then our need for vitamin C goes down because our adrenals are calming on their own. And because of that, then we make more vitamin C, which means that we have better bottoms of our feet. So in a very roundabout way, I want you to pay attention when you are stressed to make sure that you are not smelling things all over the place. I remember clearly when I was a new mom, I think my pumpkin was maybe 6 months old. I was smelling natural gas everywhere. Like, I swore we had leaks in the walls. And that's because I wasn't sleeping. Because I wasn't sleeping, I had this heightened sense of smell that allowed me to detect natural gas in all sorts of places. Not natural gas, but what they put, the smell that they put in natural gas. So that I could kind of detect it all over the place. I'm like, something is leaking. I smell something leaking. And you will find people that are under stress, particularly women, who smell things everywhere. And in truth, they do. It's not that they're crazy. It's just that their sense of smell is ramped up because of the stressors. If they were a little bit calmer, they wouldn't smell anything everywhere. So whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not entirely sure. But we know that it is a sign of adrenal fatigue, having a heightened sense of smell. So if you can start to smell like dogs do, you can pick up the trail like any bloodhound, you probably need some chance to calm down. All right, so I hope this has fit both informative and hilarious, and you are having a good day. Let's finish. Take our deep breath in and release. join me tomorrow when we tackle another sense and plantar fasciitis, in quotes. All right, take care.